Finding a parasitic drain on your car battery takes dealer technicians just 10 minutes with a basic multimeter. Here's their exact process. While most DIY guides make this seem complicated, professional techs have streamlined this diagnostic procedure into a quick, systematic checklist that anyone can follow. Your car was fine yesterday. You parked it, locked it, went inside for the night. This morning, click, click, nothing. The battery's dead, and you're wondering what happened. This scenario plays out thousands of times every day across the country, and while many people assume they need an expensive battery, the real culprit is often a parasitic drain, something in your car that's continuing to pull power even after you've turned everything off. Here's what's really happening inside your vehicle. Every modern car has what's called a keep-alive memory, or KAM current. This is completely normal. Your car needs a small amount of power to maintain things like the clock, radio presets, and computer memory. Each electronic control unit in your vehicle typically draws between 1 and 3 milliamps to stay alive. With modern cars having dozens of these modules, the total normal draw can range from 20 to 50 milliamps for older vehicles and up to 85 milliamps for newer cars packed with electronics. But when that number jumps above 100 milliamps, you've got a problem. At that point, something's staying awake when it should be sleeping, and it's slowly but surely killing your battery. The good news? You don't need expensive diagnostic equipment or years of training to find the culprit. You just need a basic digital multimeter and about 10 minutes of your time. Let me walk you through the exact process that dealer technicians use, step by step. First, let's talk about the essential tool you'll need. A basic digital multimeter is all that's required. We're not talking about a $1,000 fluke unit here, though those work great too. Any digital multimeter that can read DC amperage up to 10 amps will do the job. Professional shops sometimes use an amp clamp meter for non-invasive testing, but the multimeter method is more accessible and just as effective. The key word here is digital. Analog meters aren't accurate enough for this type of testing, and you need precision when you're looking for small current draws. Now, before you even touch your multimeter, you need to prepare your vehicle properly. This step is absolutely critical and where most people mess up the test. Park your car in a safe, well-ventilated area. Turn off absolutely everything: headlights, interior lights, radio, air conditioning, heated seats, everything. Remove the key from the ignition completely. If your car has a proximity key system, move the key fob at least 10 feet away from the vehicle. This is crucial because many modern cars will keep certain systems awake if they detect the key nearby. Close all doors, hood, and trunk completely. Here's a pro tip that can save you hours of frustration. If you need to keep a door open for any reason, manually tape down the dome light switches. The same goes for the glove box, hood light, and trunk light switches. These lights staying on is one of the most common causes of parasitic drain, and they're easy to overlook. Now comes the waiting game, and this is where patience becomes your friend. Modern vehicles don't instantly go to sleep when you turn them off. Various modules need time to complete their shutdown procedures and enter what's called sleep mode. The CAN bus network that connects all these electronic control units needs to finish its communication cycle before the car fully powers down. Some cars settle down in as little as 10 minutes, but others can take up to 45 minutes or even longer. German luxury cars are particularly notorious for taking their sweet time to fully power down. During this waiting period, resist the temptation to open doors, turn on lights, or mess with anything. Each time you do, you're essentially waking the car back up and resetting the sleep timer. While you're waiting, let's set up your multimeter. Most multimeters have the red LED plugged into a port marked V-omega-MA and a separate port for higher amperage readings, usually marked 10A or 10ADC. Move that red lead to the 10 amp port. Set your meter to read DC amperage and select the 10 amp range if your meter isn't auto-ranging. Here's where the real work begins. You're going to create what's called a series connection between your battery and the rest of your car's electrical system. This allows the multimeter to measure exactly how much current is flowing. The safest way to do this is through the negative battery terminal. Working from the negative side eliminates the risk of accidentally shorting something out if your tools touch the car's body. Using a wrench or socket, carefully loosen and remove the negative battery cable from the negative terminal. Don't let this cable touch anything metal while it's disconnected. Now, connect one lead from your multimeter to the negative battery post and the other lead to the disconnected negative cable. It doesn't matter which lead goes where, current is current. At this point, your multimeter is the only thing completing the circuit between your battery and your car's electrical system. Every amp that flows through your car has to flow through your meter first. This is why the next warning is so important. Do not try to start your car or turn on any high current devices like headlights. The starter motor alone can draw 200 amps or more, which will instantly blow the fuse in your multimeter. Now, if you haven't waited long enough for the car to enter sleep mode, you might see some higher readings initially as various modules finish their shutdown procedures. This is normal. Wait until the reading stabilizes and stays consistent for several minutes. Here's what the numbers mean. If you're seeing less than 50 milliamps on an older vehicle, or less than 85 milliamps on a newer vehicle, you're in the normal range. Your battery drain is likely due to a weak battery or charging system problem, not a parasitic draw. But if you're consistently reading over 100 milliamps, especially readings over 200 or 300 milliamps, you've confirmed there's a parasitic drain that needs to be hunted down. Time to find the culprit. This is where the fuse pulling method comes in. Every electrical circuit in your car is protected by a fuse, and these fuses are conveniently grouped together in fuse boxes. Most vehicles have at least 2 fuse boxes, one under the hood and one inside the passenger compartment. Some cars, particularly European models, can have 3, 4, or even more fuse boxes scattered throughout the vehicle. Start with the interior fuse box, as this is where you'll find circuits for accessories that commonly cause drains. With your multimeter still connected and showing your parasitic draw reading, begin removing fuses one at a time. Use a fuse puller if you have one, or needle nose pliers if you don't. Remove a fuse, watch your meter reading, and if it doesn't change, reinstall that fuse and move to the next one. When you pull the right fuse, you'll see the amperage reading on your multimeter drop significantly. This is your aha moment. You've found the circuit that's causing the problem. The fuse box cover or your owner's manual will tell you what that fuse controls. Common culprits include interior lights, aftermarket accessories like stereos or alarm systems, power seats, and various control modules. But here's where things can get tricky with modern vehicles. Some fuses control multiple circuits, and some circuits are interconnected. You might find that pulling one fuse reduces the draw but doesn't eliminate it completely. This is where methodical testing becomes important. Take notes on which fuses affect the draw and by how much. There's also an alternative method that many professional technicians prefer, especially on newer vehicles. Instead of pulling fuses and potentially waking up sleeping modules, you can measure voltage drop across each fuse while it's still installed. This method requires a more sensitive multimeter, but it's less disruptive to the vehicle's systems. Here's how it works. With your multimeter set to read millivolts, place the test leads across each fuse, one lead on each of the test points on top of the fuse. A fuse that has current flowing through it will show a small voltage drop. Using Ohm's law and the fuse's amperage rating, you can calculate how much current is flowing through that circuit. If you measure 0.5 millivolts across a 10 amp fuse, that equals about 65 milliamps of current flow. If your acceptable limit is 50 milliamps, that circuit's drawing too much power and needs investigation. Now, let's talk about the most common culprits. Interior lights top the list by a wide margin. Door switches can fail, keeping dome lights on, even when doors appear to be closed. Glove box lights, trunk lights, and hood lights are notorious for staying on due to faulty switches. There's an old technician's trick for checking these. After your car has been sitting for a while, carefully feel each bulb. If it's hot, it's been on. Aftermarket accessories are another major source of problems. Stereo systems, alarm systems, dash cameras, phone chargers, and other add-on equipment are often installed incorrectly, drawing power continuously. If your battery drain problem started shortly after having something installed, that's your prime suspect. The body control module, or BCM, is another common culprit in modern vehicles. This central computer manages many convenience features and can sometimes fail to enter sleep mode properly. If you've isolated the drain to a BCM-controlled circuit, the problem might require an OBD2 scanner to check for trouble codes or perform module reset procedures. Alternator diode failure is a less obvious but significant cause of battery drain. Your alternator uses 6 diodes to convert AC current to DC current for your car's electrical system. When one of these diodes fails, it can create a path for current to flow backward through the alternator, draining your battery even when the engine's off. You can test for this by setting your multimeter to read AC voltage and measuring across your battery terminals with the engine running. If you see more than 0.5 volts AC, you likely have a failed diode. Modern vehicles with proximity key systems present their own unique challenge. These systems are designed to wake up when they detect the key nearby, which is great when you're approaching your car, but problematic if you park in an area with heavy foot traffic. Other proximity keys walking past your car can repeatedly wake up your vehicle's systems, preventing it from entering deep sleep mode. The complexity of modern electrical systems means that some drains can be intermittent or very subtle. A module that should go to sleep after 30 minutes might stay awake for hours due to a software glitch or a sensor that's not reading properly. These phantom drains can be incredibly frustrating to diagnose because they don't follow predictable patterns. Here's something most people don't realize. The age and condition of your battery affects how noticeable a parasitic drain becomes. A brand new battery in perfect condition might tolerate a 200 milliamp draw for several days before going flat, but an older battery that's lost some of its capacity might die overnight with the same draw. This is why intermittent starting problems often get worse over time. The battery's declining capacity makes existing electrical problems more apparent. When working through this diagnostic process, safety should always be your top priority. Never attempt to start the vehicle while your multimeter is connected in the circuit. The massive current draw from the starter will destroy your meter and could potentially create a dangerous situation. If you need to reconnect your battery for any reason, do so carefully and be prepared for any security systems to activate. Speaking of security systems, many aftermarket alarms and anti-theft devices are poorly designed and can draw significant current continuously. Factory security systems are usually well behaved, but aftermarket units often lack proper sleep modes or have been installed incorrectly. Temperature can also affect your testing. Cold weather reduces battery capacity and can make existing drains more problematic. If you're dealing with a marginal parasitic draw, it might only cause problems during winter months when your battery's already working harder. Here's a pro tip that can save you significant time. If your vehicle has been in an accident or has had recent repair work, focus your attention on those areas first. Damaged wiring harnesses, improperly reconnected connectors, or disturbed grounding points can create new paths for current flow. Water damage is another often overlooked cause of parasitic drains. Even minor flooding can corrode connections and create unintended current paths. If your vehicle has been through any water, pay special attention to low-mounted control modules and connectors. The diagnostic process I've outlined will find the vast majority of parasitic drains, but some situations require more advanced techniques. Intermittent drains that come and go randomly can be nearly impossible to catch during test. Data bus communication problems can keep modules awake when they should be sleeping. These issues often require professional diagnostic equipment and extensive experience to resolve. Once you've identified the problematic circuit, the repair might be as simple as replacing a faulty switch or as complex as reprogramming a control module. Sometimes the fix is just properly securing a loose connection or cleaning a corroded terminal. Prevention is always better than diagnosis. Regular battery maintenance, keeping terminals clean and tight, and being cautious about aftermarket electrical accessories can prevent many parasitic drain problems. If you do install aftermarket equipment, make sure it's done properly by someone who understands automotive electrical systems. This 10-minute test has saved countless car owners from unnecessary battery replacements and expensive diagnostic fees. While modern vehicles are more complex than ever, the fundamental principles of electrical diagnosis remain the same. Current has to flow through a complete circuit, and by systematically interrupting those circuits, you can isolate problems quickly and efficiently. The next time you're faced with a dead battery and you suspect something's draining it overnight, remember this process. With nothing more than a basic multimeter and a systematic approach, you can diagnose the problem just like a professional technician. The tools are simple, the process is straightforward, and the satisfaction of solving the problem yourself is immense. Your car's electrical system doesn't have to be a mystery. Armed with this knowledge and a methodical approach, you can track down parasitic drains quickly and get back on the road with confidence.